Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna get right into this. I'm gonna just talk about. I actually had to cut the stream off because I'm really interesting to know. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of discuss something that happened back in 1997. One of our classmates got murdered, right? And so it has been unsolved for the past, was it 20, 25, 30 years now? It's crazy. That they don't, I mean, I don't know. And the FBI is now involved as of this year, which I don't know why they wasn't involved back in that time frame. Now, granted, it's not a whole lot they would have been able to do anyway. Just because um, it was raining the day it was raining. So she got murdered on a Friday. It was raining, especially heavily in that area, all night long into Saturday morning. And so they found the body Saturday morning. So all the DNA evidence is washed away. But the fact that they didn't find nothing around, and I guess, according to what I read, that they had whoever killed her dropped the body in this area. And so there's a lot of, it's just weird because it's like nobody knows what happened to her. So I was trying to find a video online because they had news clippings a while back of this case. And now I can't find any. So I'm gonna have to go to this psychic who actually did a psychic reading on this case. I'm gonna play this, just the news part of it, and we're gonna come back just so you can get details on exactly what happened.
Your help tonight, solving a decades-old cold case in Garland County. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Fox 16 News. I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. Our Andrew Epperson is live in studio. And Andrew, I'm told the family of Kristy Yates says they're not going to give up hope.
Never. It's been nearly a quarter century since the 15-year-old was murdered in Hot Springs. The FBI says her killer may be in Arkansas, but the Bureau needs help finding who did it.
That's another good picture of her, probably, I'd say 14, 13.
When Gordon Yates looks at pictures of his daughter, Kristy, it feels like a lifetime since he last saw her alive.
To be honest with you, it seemed like eternity.
Kristy was a 15-year-old girl, not unlike many in Hot Springs.
She was a really good girl. She enjoyed swimming. She enjoyed sports. She had a lot of friends.
Kristy was last seen at the Hot Springs Mall April 25th, 1997. The next day, her body was found on Sleepy Valley Road. She'd been brutally murdered.
There was 20-something murders the year that she was killed in Hot Springs in Garland County. I know that they were busy.
So, nearly 25 years later, Gordon Yates still doesn't know who took his daughter's life.
A lot of people want answers to what happened.
A lot of people, including FBI investigators. Thursday, the Bureau posted a tweet about Kristy, offering a $25,000 reward for information about her murder. Gordon Yates will pitch in $10,000 of his own. For the first time in years, he has hope.
I got online and I seen it, and I'm like, I'll be darned. I'm really thrilled to see that. It just lifts your spirits, hoping that someone out there will see that.
You can call the Little Rock FBI office if you know anything about what happened in Kristy's murder. We will have that number on our website. Live in studio, Andrew Epperson, Fox 16.
Okay, so y'all heard the story. I was gonna give me some commentary, and I'm gonna try to. Y'all probably not gonna like this, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion, just because of the fact that, and I didn't necessarily know her. I just knew of her. Okay, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on some things. Couple things that struck me kind of odd. Number one, her dad said that she had lots of friends. Now, oh my gosh. Okay, so about that. So when I saw her around, now this was 90. She was murdered in 97. So I'm trying to think why. So in 96, I had moved back from Alabama. Okay. Moved back from Alabama. Now, I don't know why this doesn't ring up, why this is really weird, because I'm starting to really think about it now. Did this really happen in 97? Because I actually came back home in 96. Okay. Came home in 96. So maybe this happened in the fall. I don't even remember when they said this has actually happened. Peeps. Let me, I want to see when her date. See, they're saying April 26, which would have been about right for 97. So I just felt like I was in the eighth, because I was in the 8th grade during that time frame. That's interesting. That's interesting. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that. So during that time frame, I've only had one run-in with this lady. I was hanging out with some library people. There was 2 guys. I don't even remember their names because they ended up moving away the following year. But I hung out with them, and then she and another lady came into the library, and so there was 2 guys. There was a slender guy, about as slender as me. There's another guy. He was a little bit taller, a little bit more stockier. So I consider them like acquaintances, because I will go in there and talk with them, chop it up with them. I was a counselor assistant at the time, and they was library assistants. But anyway, she came into the library and started saying hi to the slender guy that I was, hanging out with, saying hi to him. And, she even hit the guy, right? She was hitting him and talking, almost like she was talking down on him. It sounded, the way that they was talking, me and the other guy, the bigger guy, we thought, they were like friends or something. At least I did anyway. So she did, the way she went at him, and I sat there and was thinking to myself, there is no way, even if that was someone I knew, I wish she would have hit me the way she hit him. Knocked her ass out. Anyways, when she left, we didn't really say nothing, but I said something. I was like, I'm surprised that you let her hit you like that twice. Cause I was like, I would have knocked her ass. I mean, I'm sorry that she's a friend, but, and he was like, that's not my friend. And me and other dude was like, that wasn't your friend. And he was shocked as much as I was shocked. And he said that he ain't never, a day in life, he didn't even know who that person was. Said that he ain't never seen her a day in his life. And me and the other guy was just sitting there like, what the fuck? And I had to believe the guy, because listen, my locker was literally right outside the library. So she hung around that area. I never seen her talk to these guys, nothing. So it's kind of weird how she came in there like that. I've also kind of noticed too during that time frame. This was when I was in the 7th grade. I kind of noticed, and I hate saying this because it sounds terribly bad. But I kind of noticed that the way that she acted, towards other people, was this mean-spirited, cussing. I knew she was doing drugs because she even talked about it, right? This very odd lady, I didn't really mess with her. I noticed that for the most part, she didn't, I think she would see me. She would kind of look at me, but then kind of look away, because I don't think she want to start with me, because I wasn't going to have that bullshit, right? But she was just doing that shit to just some random ass people. And it was just weird how she was approaching people and stuff. She's just mean-spirited from what I could tell. So I didn't see her hanging around a lot of friends, okay? I just didn't. The few people I saw, there was this one guy named Dennis. I remember his name. His name was Dennis. I don't know his last name. I know him, and then 2 other people would occasionally, I would see them hanging out, usually after school and stuff. But fast forward to the day that she got murdered. She wasn't around that time when we was in the 8th grade. I guess she was going to Summit School. I thought matter of fact, I really thought she was in a grade higher than us. But someone told me that she had, I guess, flunked a grade. So I don't know. I just know that she wasn't actually at our school during that whole year. So apparently she was going, from what I read, she was going to Summit School, which, okay, whatever. So when this came out, there was some things that really struck me kind of odd. You know, I felt bad for her because I'm just like, what the fuck? And they never gave us any, on the news, they never actually gave us context on what happened. Just she was brutally murdered. Okay. So I go to school. First period was algebra, 8th grade, mind you. And I noticed, peeps, that freaking, I can only remember one guy. There was a guy in our class that hung out with her quite a bit. And then he had 2 other guys that hung out with him. And I kind of noticed just the mood. No one talked about what happened to her. No one said anything. And then towards the end of the class, then someone brought it up. Is when the teacher left. And they was in there playing around with Dennis and his friends. You know, teasing him about, oh, you murdered that girl, didn't you? You murdered her, didn't you? Which I knew that he didn't. But I know how this guy is. And when people accuse him of shit, it's just like any other kid. You know, you tell him to shut up or F you or whatever. But I noticed that his body language when they was making fun of him, it was like nothing, emotionless. Even when I sat there and looked at them at the beginning of the classroom, there was nothing, no emotion, no nothing. I thought it was kind of weird. I can only remember after they was teasing him and stuff, just kind of looking over there, nothing. They was quiet, and it was quieter than usual. I kind of got the sense that they probably knew something, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't really want to say anything. And I really do truly believe that there are people there that knew what happened to this lady. I think they knew what happened. Okay. Now, I'm going to play something else, 'cause I just recently ran into this. Well, heck. Let me see if I can get back up. Yeah, I just recently ran into this. Now, this was posted 2 weeks ago. I'm going to play this again.
Hi, this is Shannon. We'll bring more if arrests are made and they're able to identify the killer. So I want to give you guys some information about this case.
Here we go.
This is a long, cold case. We're talking about, let's see here. This occurred April 26th in 1997. This was over 25 years ago now. So what happened is Kristy Yates, she was 15 years old, and she was last seen by witnesses at the local mall here in Hot Springs the day before. She did attend an alternative school, and it appeared that she was most likely skipping school at that time. And
now, I just want to point this out, too. I just want to say something about this. This was a brave mother joker, this Kristy, because it was unheard of from anyone. And I hate to say this because it sounds terrible, and at the same time, it sounds like it can't be true, but people just wasn't skipping school. I'll be honest with you. We nobody in my the people you would think would be skipping school was not skipping school. Nobody was skipping school. Nobody went to school and started hiding out the whole time, or went to school and then wander off campus. They wasn't doing that, peeps. I mean, they just wasn't. There was really nobody that had attendance issues. Matter of fact, these are some of the bad boys or the people that don't like school. Hell, they was the one that was always coming to school. So the fact that she was even skipping school, she was on a whole different new level. I'll be honest with you. So I'm assuming because she went to Summit. See, we caught the bus, and then what a lot of people need to understand about that time frame, because it's a lot different than now. We were called latchkey kids. So that's part of the 80s, and it kind of ran into the 90s, and even more so in the mid 90s. So we all caught the bus. Our parents would go to work, and I'm just going to explain what latchkey kid is. Your parents basically would go to work before you 6 o'clock in the morning. You was tasked as a kid to get your ass up out of bed. So yes, we had alarms, and get ready and then get to the bus stop. That was your damn job as a kid. Now kids these days, they can't do that. They have to have mommy and daddy to do all that stuff with them, right? Keep in mind, this is middle school. Okay, middle school, she was obviously a grade higher, but I think she flunked. Like I said, I think she flunked. But the point I'm trying to make is that she was basically, so how she was getting away with it was she was basically not necessarily catching the bus, skipping the school. Now this alternative school that they was talking about, I'm familiar with it. It's basically it's a school for bad kids. Let's just call it for what it is, okay? She's not gonna say it's basically a school for bad kids. That means the teachers, and I'm not saying bad kids. I'm talking that these people, and trust me, I was in an alternative school at one point, not at Summit, but when I was in Langston. But it's basically kids that don't obey authority, meaning that teachers tell them to do something, they don't want to do it. They get an attitude, they start cussing the teacher out. The teacher can't control them, so eventually they go to this other school, and and I'm gonna be honest with you, the way that those schools were set up, they set you up to fail. They teach, really, they don't teach at the same level as if you had a regular class. Not only that, if you did get out of line, they didn't have I mean, you literally could just be sitting. I don't know. It's hard. It's really weird because there was no violence against teachers or anything like that. But some of the teachers had a little bit more leeway at being a lot more tougher than you. Okay. So I want to put context in that because I know a lot of people don't know about these alternative schools, what they're talking about. This kind of goes to show you that what type of person she was. But I'm going to continue because I just want you to know she was in an alternative school for bad kids. She was skipping school. So I just want you to keep that context, get that energy. Okay.
Had gone to the mall. Now, she was blonde. She was only 15. Now, her father describes her as a really good girl. She enjoyed swimming. She enjoyed sports. She had a lot of friends at the time that this occurred. And it is believed that something happened after she was at the mall. Now, the tip that I received,
okay, before we get into this tip, I just want to say that you see how the father describes her. So she may have been like that at home, but I'm just saying when she was out and about, away from her parents, and trust me, this was pretty much almost virtually every kid They was not like they were at home. Trust me, I know. And she was no exception. I will tell you, just off rip, one of the reasons why this case is not solved and hasn't been solved quickly. Well, I'm not going to even get into that. Let's get into the tip.
Which is not in the public. I have not seen any of this information anywhere when I received this information. Oh. But I want to put it out there. Hopefully other people will share this information.
Northwest Health Diagnostic Sleep Center
out so that this can be shared and possibly more tips can come in about this case. Okay, so the information that I received, and this is a witness account. The person that gave this tip stated that
Northwest Health Diagnostic Sleep Center.
There might have been a video, a mall video, yes, and that there was an older white guy in it. And that person that witnessed some things believes that he is most likely the person who killed her. Now, I have been told that this guy picked her up from the mall because this occurred in front of this witness, and this witness saw that they were arguing, and this older white man said that she had stolen something. She said that she did not steal anything, and he said that she would have to prove it and to come help him to find out who did it. So she went into the car with him. The next day, that witness then heard that she was found dead. Again, she doesn't have a way to prove this, but this is what this witness has come forward telling me. So if anyone was there at the mall, I am being told that there were other witnesses there too that did see this and that have further information about what occurred. I am hoping that those people will come forward, talk to the FBI, or talk to, the police, submit an anonymous tip. You can also reach out to me. But again, I would prefer it go to the FBI because they are the ones that will be able to solve this horrific crime. Now, the details about this murder that we do know, I will go over all of that for you. She was found brutally murdered. And again, I don't know in what way she was brutally murdered, but she was found brutally murdered. That was on April 26th, 1997. She was left on Sleepy Valley Road in northern Garland County. So she had been missing for 1 day. Now, the police don't actually go into details about how she was murdered. We do not have details about DNA. We really don't have any details regarding the actual investigation side of it, back, during those back when it actually occurred. There were something like 20 murders that year in Hot Springs, and so obviously the police department must have been very...
Now, here's the thing. This is the funny thing about that. Two things. One, yeah, they never even gave us details about the actual murder other than saying she was brutally murdered. They didn't say she was raped or anything like that. So the other thing about the DNA evidence, they pretty much, I remember them saying this in the news that there was no DNA evidence. And I can see that because, again, a lot of people, what's being left out is the night that she got murdered. She got murdered. Her body obviously was dumped. It was raining heavily Friday. Okay. This happened on a Friday. Saturday morning is when her body was found. And it was still kind of raining. So that rain would have just washed off any type of DNA evidence unless they found something else in the area. That's also a possibility. Now, they're saying that it was in northern Garland County. Now, we're going to pull up a map. we're going to go through this because the last time I remember, and it's been so long, let's type in Sleepy Valley Road. Okay. So I'm gonna give this, let everyone see this. So what this pinpoint is where, so this is Hot Springs right there. You see right there in the, if you have the map in the, over here, this is Hot Springs, right? So all these areas are Hot Springs. She was found on along Highway 7. Now, this is, they keep saying northern Garland County, but this is still part of Hot Springs, peeps. This area she was found is still Hot Springs. I know this because I'm from there. Okay, so why you keep saying northern Garland County, I have no idea. It's northern Hot Springs. Now, this area is kind of a residential area. I mean, there's people that actually live on this area. Now, Sleepy Valley Road, as you see, if I recall, does it start here? Okay. So it starts from there on up and ends on Highway 7. So it kind of loops around, right? So she was found somewhere around this road, and I want to see if I can find where exactly it might have been that she was found. I think she was found right here. Okay. Somewhere in this general area. So I'll put the point there. Okay. So that's where she was found. I just wanted to give y'all context on that. Let's keep going.
Busy at the time, and somehow this case just was never solved, which is so unfortunate because there were actual witnesses that have come forward and said that they did see this. Now, the witness that has spoken to me did say that that person did speak with the police back then and gave the information about seeing this white man and seeing her get into this car, and her being accused about stealing something at the mall. Now, that person doesn't know exactly if the police followed up with that information, and doesn't really know what happened in the investigation after the witness came forward and talked to the police back then. But they really do believe that this is pertinent information to solving this case. So I'm asking the public, if you happened to hear anything about what's going on in this case. Now, I understand, again, that they need to keep certain things. Had done drugs previously, was either a drug dealer or did a lot of drugs. This white male. So the police, may want to be looking into that, with this person. Has been some speculation, some information also that this white man had done drugs previously, was either a drug dealer or did a lot of drugs. This white male. So of Information Acts forms to different agencies. So at this time, I'm not going to be receiving any details about the investigation because it is an open case and a vehicle with an older white male. And after that, being accused of possibly stealing something, then, it appears that something really awful and horrible happened to her as she was found murdered the next day. Long time to get it, but I know that Gordon Yates, the father, we can do it off the record, or you can just submit a tip anonymously to the FBI about.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. I think I heard all the information. So this is new information, Peeps. This came out. As you see, this was out in June, so it was last month. It's got 4 views. I'm actually shocked. Yeah, I'm actually shocked. So I don't know if this is a podcast. So it's interesting. Interesting, Peeps. Interesting. So this came out last month. So that's news to me. Now, I did say back then that I feel like there was some sort of drug deal that went wrong, and that's why she got killed. Now, I want to go back to something. I think the reason why why her murder has never been solved is because of how she treated people. Okay, I have said this many times. You gotta treat people with respect. Treat people good. She did not treat people good. She didn't treat them with respect. So when this happens, nobody wants to say anything, right? People probably know what happened, but they're not saying anything, right? I mean, now there's some witnesses that witnessed some things, and they have put in their tip. And I want to say too, I know for a fact that somebody I kind of figured someone had told the police what was going on, but they're not doing their job. And I kind of noticed I think it's a detective that's been with Hot Springs for most of my childhood and adult life. I kind of noticed that person wasn't doing anything on a lot of the cases. I noticed that. Because this is not the only cold case we have. And so they got someone new in now. And this is why this is being reamped up and why the FBI is involved now. Because again, don't know why the FBI wasn't involved, especially seeing that it was involved a child. She was still a child. She wasn't even 16 yet. But with that being said, I don't have any other details. I didn't hear anything about anyone saying anything. again, it just kind of swept underneath the rug. So all I go by is basically what I saw online. People were saying something about there was a guy with a lowrider. It was a Hispanic guy, but see, she's saying it was a white guy. So I, and I get what she's saying. Like she said too, they can't give a lot of details on the case, which is understandable. So, in conclusion, this is a very sad thing anyway, because again, she's only 15. She didn't deserve to get killed, no matter how bad she treated people, right? And it wasn't like she was treating them like totally bad. Like she wasn't getting into fights or nothing. She just wasn't a very pleasant person to be around. But this is why I say, people, that you need to make sure you treat people good, because something like this happened to you. You want to make sure that you're in good hands to where people are wanting to say something, wanting to stick up for you. She supposedly didn't have, a lot of people saying that she was running around a bad crowd. Well, yeah, I could see that. I don't think anybody she ran with was a good crowd. Now, they were saying something about that there was like 20 murders in that area. Listen, I don't know nothing about that. I didn't know Hot Springs was bad, period. So I don't know nothing about there being 20 murders that year. Right? And to be honest with you, I kind of live on the opposite side of where she was murdered, like the extreme opposite side of the city. So I don't know if these murders was happening. I don't know where they was happening, but I didn't hear nothing about murder. Matter of fact, she was the first murder I've ever heard of in Hot Springs. And then the next one would come maybe 6-7 years later. But if there being 20 murders, I, again, don't know, because I never heard about it, right? So that's news to me. Anyways, I just wanted to shine a light to this. Hopefully, if someone that is from Hot Springs, or some of you internet sleuths like these type of cases, go figure out what's going on and find her killer. I mean, it's kind of messed up. I ain't gonna lie. I felt really bad that happened to her, and just what exactly that she had to go through, because she didn't deserve that. So yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say on that. Unfortunately, I can't give any details because I know about as much as they do. The only thing I wanted to bring forth is the type of person she was, and that has contributed to why this case has not been resolved. And it's sad, but it's true. And one of the things that I want to say is that I don't necessarily think that anyone in my class had anything to do with it. Do I think people probably knew what was going on or what happened? Yes. I also want to point out too that I think it could have been a setup. Obviously, she was set up. She was accused of probably stealing something from the mall and jumped in the ride with this guy. And then this guy, apparently, what she was saying was a drug dealer. But I personally feel like that this is someone that she knew. Because, again, latchkey kids did not just go and jump into freaking vehicles with random ass strangers. We just didn't do that. And the fact that she did that was kind of odd. This was somebody that she knew. And it had to be, because, again, I just don't see her being the type of person she was, jumping into random ass people's cars. Like I said, we just didn't do that as a kid. But anyways, that's all I wanted to point out. Hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. Might do some more of these videos. I gotta get ready to go to this sleep study. So hopefully her case will be resolved. I want to touch on one more case, and that's Katie Lavender. That one's going to be interesting. I want to touch on that one real quick. If they didn't erase all this freaking stuff on the line, because I kind of noticed they did that here. Like, I struggled trying to, and I ran into this by accident, but I struggled trying to find the actual news part of the case. Like, it just disappeared now. So it's crazy. Anyways, peeps, I am out. Peace, and I am gone.